whether or not there's a gut-brain association. Okay? All right? So we see that there's neurologic problems when we look at the brains of children with autism who died. There's chronic activation of an inflammatory process in the brain. It's real. It's on a slide, guys. It's not somebody saying, well, I think it happened. It's really there. All right? So let's move on to how do we help? What do we do when you go home, what do you get to do to try to help your kid, okay? Maureen McDonnell coined this 3 R's sort of term, and it really turns out to be 4. You remove offending things from your child's diet, which by and large, the first and easiest step in 2009 is to go to a gluten-free, casein-free diet. Both gluten and casein are very pro-inflammatory molecules. We've talked about the fact that inflammation's not good. So it would be nice to take away pro-inflammatory molecules, don't you think? No, it's not an easy thing to do. But my goodness, if it'll help our kids to heal, isn't it worth giving a good try to? And if it makes 5% of difference and makes it so that your child doesn't have to be on an antipsychotic or on an ADD medication to function in school, then it's worth its weight in gold. And if it lowers the dose, it's still worth its weight in gold. Not necessarily as easy, but worth its weight in gold, okay? Replenish. Put back what's missing. We showed you some stool testing that says that, you know what, we don't have enough of the good bacteria that are there to help us digest our stuff. They need to be dairy-free. Most of the time these days, they really are. And then we become about repair and restore, okay? So we're gonna try to get this gut healing up. You need enzymes sometimes. You saw that the enzyme wall, the gut wall was right there with all its cool little sea anemone looking fingers projecting off the wall. The enzymes are all there. And if that's stripped or not healthy, then we need to put those enzymes back in for our children. And they need to be enzymes that have DPP4. Most of the prescription enzymes that are used in cystic fibrosis and those kinds of things don't have that enzyme. So they can be helpful, but they're not going to be the whole deal for our kids necessarily. And we need to pay attention to that DPP4, okay? Multivitamins that are rich in B-complex and vitamin B6. Really, really important. Vitamin B6 is the nerve growth factor, basically. It makes a tremendous difference in how you function neurologically. Omegas, the fish oils, and they need to be clean sources of fish oil. We are very, very, very rabid about where we get our fish oil. All fish oil is not created equal. Some of it's been sitting on the shelf for a long time, and it's oxidized, it's out of commission, it's not gonna do its job for you. You need a fish oil that's had the organs removed before you press the flesh, so that the toxins that are in the protein, the meat of the fish and the organs, are not causing you so much trouble. They need to be tested well, they need to be controlled well, that kind of thing. So we're very, very careful about what sources we use. Minerals, we need some minerals usually because our kids haven't been absorbing well. And then yeast management, okay? Now, Julie Matthews is here. This is a slide that she put together. There are a million diets, okay? And if gluten-free, casein-free doesn't do the trick, then yes, we should try moving on to something else perhaps. But easiest thing to do is to start with gluten-free, casein-free. After that, you start getting a whole lot more complicated, and I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it. Avoiding soy. This is a big discussion on a lot of the boards. Keep it to a minimum. Don't use soy milk hand over fist, because I'm here to promise you that the best cheese replacement is a soy-based thing. And if you use soy everywhere else all day long, then your child's going to become sensitive, and it's going to be a behavioral issue for them, just like gluten and casein were. So if you keep it to a minimum, you'll probably get away with being able to have a little pizza to send to school when everybody else has pizza too. There are a ton of ice creams now made from coconut stuff and rice and almond that are so delicious that there's really no need to be using soy ice creams, okay? That's my comment on soy. So, if it comes from an udder, it has casein in it, all right? That you've got to look, and there are a lot of words, and there are a lot of great websites. TACA and GFCF Diet both have ways to get gluten-free, casein-free if you've not done it yet, and they also have watchwords to see and tell you what the issues are going